Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something really cool, a blueprint for your life. And here's the twist. We're not talking about finding success. We're talking about building it, like actually constructing it, one piece at a time. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Do you think success is something you find, or is it something you build? We hear it all the time. Find your passion, find your way. It's like it's some lost treasure map. But what if that whole idea is kind of off? What if success is way more like a house that you have to design and build from the ground up? And boom, this quote just nails it. A successful life isn't some final destination, right? It's the journey of building. It's a project that's always in progress. Honestly, this one idea is the bedrock for everything else we're going to get into today.
All right, so let's really lean into this whole construction thing. Think about any huge, impressive building, a skyscraper, whatever. Where does it start? It starts with a solid foundation, right? Well, for us, for our lives, that foundation is our internal blueprint. It's the set of plans that dictates everything that comes next.
And this foundation, it's really made of two key things. First up, setting your goals. That's your architectural plan, your drawings. And second, keep on learning. Think of this as the actual material you're building with, the steel, the concrete. But those two together, and you've got a base that can handle pretty much anything you want to build on top of. So let's break down that first part, goal setting. And look, this is not about just daydreaming or making vague wishes. This is about making some real, clear decisions. What do you truly want out of life? When you set both those small, short-term goals and the big, long-term ones, you're giving every single day a purpose, a why. And that is so important. Because without goals, it's easy to feel like you're just spinning your wheels, right? Just busy for the sake of being busy. But with a clear plan, every little thing you do becomes a brick being laid perfectly in place. You stop being just busy, and you start making real, purposeful progress. Okay, on to the second part of that foundation, continuous learning. This is all about making yourself stronger from the inside. It means you're always on the lookout for new knowledge. Maybe that's reading books, taking a course, or just trying new things to gain skills and experience. It's all about beefing up your own toolbox. And here's the real magic behind it. Learning isn't just about stuffing your brain with facts. It's about fortifying your mind. It builds this deep, real confidence that you can't fake. It's simple, really. The more you know you can do, the more capable you feel. Okay, so we've got our foundation poured and set. What's next? Well, now it's time to put up the support structure. We're talking about the pillars, the beams, the stuff that actually holds the whole thing up and keeps it from collapsing under pressure. And this support structure has two sides to it. You've got your external supports, that's your relationships, and your internal supports, which is all about your own health, both physical and mental. And you absolutely need both. One without the other just doesn't work. Think of it like this. The external structure is your crew, your network, the people who have your back and inspire you. And the internal structure, that's you. That's your physical health, your mental well-being, the energy that keeps you going. You just can't build a stable life without both of these working together. It's a balancing act. So let's talk about that external side for a second. Building a solid network of friends, mentors, people who genuinely support you, that's not just a nice to have. It is a crucial, strategic part of building a great life. I mean, these are the connections that open doors you didn't even know existed and provide that safety net for when things get tough. And then there's the internal structure. This stuff is completely non-negotiable. We're talking about the basics: eating well, moving your body, getting enough sleep. That's the physical side. And things like meditation or mindfulness, those aren't some fancy add-ons. That's essential maintenance for your mental well-being, making sure you don't crack under pressure. Because here's the bottom line. You can have the most amazing blueprint in the world, but if the materials you're using are weak, the whole structure is going to crumble eventually. So making your health, both physical and mental, a top priority is what guarantees this whole project of yours can actually last a lifetime. All right, foundation's down, support structure's up. But here's the thing, a building just sits there. A life? Well, a life is constantly moving and changing. So we need one more piece. We need an engine, something to power the whole thing forward, especially when things get stormy. And that engine is perseverance. And I want you to pay close attention to how it's defined here. It's a skill. That's huge. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build. It's the skill of looking at a failure and not seeing a dead end, but seeing data, an experience. And then you just keep going. This quote really hits the nail on the head. Success isn't about having no fear. It's about having courage in spite of the fear. And it's not about some big, heroic, one-time effort. Nope. It's about that steady, continuous push day in and day out. That, right there, is the secret sauce.
So yeah, this is the driving force. This is what keeps the whole project moving. When the storms come, and trust me, they will. Perseverance is what lets you do more than just survive. It lets you take the energy from that storm and use it to reinforce your structure, to build back even stronger than before. Okay, let's pull back for a second and take a look at the whole picture. We've put together this complete blueprint. We've got the foundation, the supports are in place, the engine is fired up. So what does this finished plan actually look like when it's all together? Well, when you boil it all down, it really comes to 5 main principles, and they're all connected. You can think of them as the 5 essential pillars that make up the entire architectural plan for a life that's not just successful, but resilient. So let's recap them real quick. Number 1, you start with a plan, your goals. 2, you build with the best materials, which is continuous learning. 3 and 4, you support the whole thing with strong relationships and good health. And finally, number 5, you power it all forward with courage and perseverance. That's the blueprint. But maybe the single most important thing to remember is this. Your life isn't some building that you finish and then, cut the ribbon and walk away. No way. It's a lifelong project. You're always going to be renovating, maybe adding a new room, strengthening the foundation. It grows and evolves right along with you. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you have the blueprint, and you truly know that you are both the architect and the builder of your own life, what's the first brick you're going to lay? What will you do today